Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Watch Over Palestine, and we're back. Round 3 of Swiss. Sorry we had a little hiccup on the back end here, but B-Stream is up and running. I'm Mr. Leapfrog. Along with me tonight, Ben. What's up?
Yes. Welcome. We are here, day 2 of BPL's charity tournament, raising money for UNRWA. Looks like we've already beaten last year's mark of about $2,200. Our new goal is 3,000. There should be donation links all over the Twitch chat, as well as incentives, raffles you can enter to win things like skins, battle passes, stickers, as well as some incentives if certain things happen. For players themselves to make donations, most of which have to do with like Ajaxing or Rayjaxing or Wuyangjaxing or messing up their Reaper roll, etc.
Yeah, there's a ton of incentives, so be sure to go check the website. There's more information on there, exclamation point donate, and you guys can donate and contribute directly. There's also a ton of items you can buy, like a guaranteed stream slot. Probably today's gonna be the last day for that, considering tomorrow will probably be the finals portion. So get to it now. We still have the chance. We also have a few more stickers left. I think we're down to the last like 20 on each. So you buy those, they directly contribute to the actual charity itself, and you get a little sticker out of it. So might as well go take advantage of that while you can. We're down to, like I said, under 20 on each of them. But I think we have the rosters here for the teams. Oh no, we're gonna go for the rankings. My bad. As you can see,
Yeah, both of these teams are at 1-1, so pretty crucial to win this if they want to get to. How many teams make playoffs? I actually don't know, to be completely honest. 4. So you want to get in that top 4. So both of these teams still in a fighting chance, and a win today will help them reach that. So a lot at stake.
Yeah, I think a lot of the teams, I mean, again, considering that we're only doing like the 4, maybe 5 rounds of the Swiss stage, it's going to be real tight in terms of like who is going to actually qualify out. You got to play your hearts out. I mean, sure, you can be 2-0, but those 2-0s have to be dominant, because you see the map differential right there. If you have that's the tiebreaker essentially. So you got to make sure you're winning these matches pretty dominantly. Not too many teams are going to be able to go 2-2 and make it out. You might have maybe 1 or 2 teams that go 3-1 and make it out. But again, you got to be super on point with your decision making and just overall performance, considering there's not that many matches that you can qualify out with, especially the number of teams as well. But neither here nor there, because we got the rosters here for the teams.
Yeah, I want to draw your attention, of course, to Funny Estro. That is incredible. There are not many gamer tags that you can really say transcend a mere ID and become a form of art. That's one of them. Puppy Girl, I believe her in-game tag is Girl Shui, if you know who that is. So we're really just pushing boundaries when it comes to incredible names here. But both of these teams have some names you might recognize from like Overwatch Twitter. There's a lot of Overwatch Twitter Andes in this whole tournament. But particular, I know Yasu is a Finnish player and he loves to play Mei. He is the token. He's sort of the token cis guy on the Hangzhou Bark. So definitely looking for him to bring a big performance on the flex DPS heroes.
Yep. So definitely something to look out for. I love seeing the variety amongst the teams. But as you can see, our first map of the day is going to be Watch Point Gibraltar. So we're probably going to see a little bit more dive-centric compositions going into this first map here.
Yeah, very, very smart choice by Hangzhou Bark. They've played this map twice in their 2 games. They've won both times. Makes complete sense. This was a map they were able to win against LavaLillies, who are, as you saw before, currently top of the table. So a big advantage for the side of Hangzhou Bark if they can capitalize on it.
Yeah, and that's what's exciting is that Hangzhou Bark, I mean, they took the number 1 seed right now of our actual standings to the distance. So it honestly could have gone either way. If they had, won that barn burner match, they would have been the number 1 seed and vice versa. So they definitely have a lot of opportunities to still make it out of the Swiss stage itself and still qualify for the finals.
Yeah, you talk about dive comps. Hangzhou Bark banned Ana, and Crescent Moon responded by banning the Winston. So both sides not looking to play the kind of traditional dive stuff that we see on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Not that Winston on a brig has been like super prevalent in the metagame right now, but you know, especially in these types of tournaments, you tend to see teams lean on the tried and true, like we saw, you know, Reinhardt on Lijiang Tower in the match that I casted yesterday. Is that something that gets played at the highest level still? Not really, but it's kind of built into the DNA of a lot of Overwatch players, so.
Yeah, I think this essentially, along with like Hangzhou, this is like one of the staple maps, right? You would think, you know, it's been around, you know, as long as Hangzhou. It's one of like the starting maps, and a lot has changed on this map overall. But at the core value of it, I still really enjoy it. I'm sure a lot of players kind of feel the same way. But again, here we go, round number 3. Both teams are 1-1, looking to improve their standings to 2-1. And try to make it out of this Swiss stage here. WBZ Crescent Moon starting off strong with the Hazard.
Yeah, Girl Shui gonna be playing the Mauga. Interesting choice on this map. I actually really like it, especially with that sim that was able to put Mauga into a high... Okay, never mind. Girl Shui just gets obliterated. That's unfortunate. You hate to see it.
So that was cute. That was cute there, Ben. But we're gonna shut it down. And Girl Shui immediately recognized, yeah, okay, the Mauga was never gonna work in a million years. Swapping back over to the mirrored Hazard picks right here. But you can see very similar comps. However, the only glaring difference is no Wu Yang from Bark. They're actually opting for the Lucio pick instead.
I think that's really strong on defense here. So many high grounds for that Wu Yang to rain down his orbs of destruction. Well, that's it. They're orbs of destruction, not... That's what the name of Zenyatta's weapon is. I should have used a different word, but they are orbs and they are destructive.
You know, that is very, you know, very similar weaponry. So, I mean, we could just, you know, call it how it is. Spade's a spade, but... You can see right here, Hangzhou finally getting the payload into the actual car wash section, and this is going to be a great start here because Funny Astro gets that first pick. Kala was the one leading off the kill feed so many fights in a row consecutively, and now it's just going to be a Tracer duel on the point. But you can see Vibing just running for their lives, not going to survive for too much longer, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up the fight. But Wu Yang trying to keep their team nice and healthy along with the Tidal Blast if needed. We're going to have to see if it's going to be committed out, and it does, onto Iridescent. Oh no, the Ajax! And that's going to be some more money into the pool. The donations incoming.
Dear. Oh, Caramel. Oh, Caramel. That was rough. And that's a lot of momentum gone from that push. Hangzhou Bark were pushing, but losing that sound barrier, not optimal. As Crescent Moon coming up on double DPS ults and the Kitsune Rush. K's got a 15% edge on Funny Astro for that big Kiriko ultimate. Not that it matters, because Funny Astro is going to get pre-fight picked by Iridescent.
Oh man, yeah, you can see him in the chat kind of dogging on Caramel some more, just saying, hey, that's the Caro Jacks right there. But either way, we're going to have to go right back into it without the Lucio. Again, another fight where you're going to be missing support. Oh, and you see the MPH trying to go for the back cap, but not going to happen. Miles per hour is going to have to slow it down to potential kilometers if he's not too careful.
Yeah, MPH fan, they were not able to find much purges there. As Kitsune Rush still in the back pocket, going to be popped first by Hangzhou Bark, and there's a quick kill onto Possum. The downpour equally not finding that much, but the kills are coming through from Yasuo's Dragon Blade. That's going to be a team fight win. 3 ults used in the process, though. Not exactly the most efficient, but it's going to get it done. Hangzhou Bark capping point A.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. It's honest Overwatch right there. Sometimes you got to make the commitment. It's one of those things, like I tell people all the time, like, yeah, you don't want to, like, ult bomb and just use every bit of util and resources to try to...
Possum is stuck in their own spawn. Oof.
Whoops.
That is going to be a lot of free cart push. It's going to take a bit of time for Possum to get back from the point B spawn room, and using that time, Girl Shui is going to make her way up to high ground and try and fight for control of the space shuttle.
All right. We have to see how the Genji play. I think the Genji play is going to be super important on this second point here, because you see, like, battling for that high ground onto the ship is going to be so imperative to trying to get this payload moving. You can see the downpour being called out, but I don't think getting anybody here. Iridescent's definitely going to want a refund on that one, but either way, a lot of the people on Hangzhou Bark are very low. Got to be super careful. You can see Girl Shui just trying their best to survive every single situation, always half HP or critical. And it looks like Crescent Moon is going to be able to help clean up the rest of that fight. No pulse bomb connection from MPH, and it looks like they're going to go for a reset here.
Despite not really finding much from the downpour, Crescent Moon able to just find the kills that they need in that fight. Double support ults again, this time for Crescent Moon. Last time we saw Possum able to Ajax Caramel with the Tidal Blast. Can they do it again?
Yeah, definitely gonna need it again here. We're down to the final minute and a half left of their attack push here. Just got to be a little careful, because I mean that Ajax could be costly if they don't get a confirmation. But Yasu gets a confirmed kill onto Possum again. I don't know if there's out of position. That was a crucial pick, because Possum did have access to Tidal Blast, but Girl Shui overextends, falls in the back line, trying to capitalize on it, and they're going to immediately try to regroup here, not before Yasu gets the pick onto supports. No support on the side of Crescent Moon, and because of that, Iridescent just overstaying their welcome.
Gonna have really impactful ultimate. Oh my god, that was a Kitsune Rush Ajax. Oh, that was brutal. That is huge momentum swung back for Crescent Moon.
That's unfortunate. I mean, that's two ultimates again. That's lost for absolutely nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Downpour again from Iridescent. Man, Suzu coming out in just the nick of time. Iridescent getting caught out of position, but they're going to use Tidal Blast, and Suzu wants to try to keep him nice and healthy. Kala going to the backline, getting one, looking for a second, not going to find a second, but still, damage is already done. And it looks like they're going back to the spawn room again. Hangzhou Bark is in a really tough position where, I mean, we're down to the final 15 seconds, and they don't seem like they have any type of footing in this map.
Not sure. Kala might want that Tidal Blast back. Might have been a little bit too much to use, as they are going to lose, they are going to get the kill onto Tracer. Yasu just trying to do everything he can for Hangzhou Bark. He really has been the engine of this team in this attack push.
Oh yeah. And it looks like that engine's going to keep on roaring, because of that nice little pick to the back line, getting rid of both supports. I mean, sure, he didn't get the pick onto K, but forcing them to teleport into the opposing team is always going to be a win in their eyes. So they're finally going to take point B here, finally getting some footing. And we're going to have to see what type of changes Crescent Moon's going to make here. And it looks like Possum making over the swap over Lucia. I don't know if that's just for the touch, or if they're, yeah, it looks like they're just going for the desperation touch. But back on the Wu Yang we go.
Ooh, whoops. Just breathed directly into my microphone. Funny Escher now over to the Moira. Maybe tired of getting picked on Kiriko. Now over to the Wu Yang. Okay. Not a huge fan of Lucio Wu Yang. Girl Shui is able to get the kill onto Kala on high ground. Yeah,
they are very active in the chats. I think it's a noticeable difference between... What?
Oh! What? Vibing! What was that? What?
I don't know if there's a donation incentive for that, but I think you might have to put some money towards a charity for that one. So that was
I'm gonna donate like $5 just for that. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh, it happened twice! It happened twice! Make that $10, because it just happened back to back. Tracers getting rid of themselves.
Guess I gotta put my money where my mouth is for that one, but... Diving over to the Widowmaker just in an attempt to contest, but Kala able to find some purchase. So, entering final fight territory in sort of a 4v4 situation, this is gonna be scrappy Leapfrog.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try to make something, to make some coals out of diamonds, because right now everybody's critical on the point. There's no bodies on point except a critical Tracer and a Lucio just desperately trying to find walls to jump off of. Funny Istro popping the Tidal Blast onto Lucio. I definitely would have gave that onto Tracer, but still not a bad call here just to kind of keep your team nice and healthy. Just when I say that, MPH going to fall here. Yasu's so close to their blade, but I don't think they're going to have an opportunity to use it as Kala going to slice him down, and they stop it just short of point C. Not too bad for Hangzhou Bark, if I, based on everything that I saw.
That was messy. I mean, that was messy. I think Funny Astro really maybe should have swapped off of the Wu Yang in that final fight. Wu Yang is like, maybe this is just me, but I find him to be a very difficult hero to play in these kind of desperation contests fights, because his weapon takes a while to fire. It's hard to deal quick damage, and he doesn't really do super well at like very close range. So sorry, I was just distracted by the Roadhog Mercy that suddenly spawned in onto the stats screen.
Wow. Yeah, we'll probably definitely see it on attack, just like a one round jump out, see if I can get a hook, and then run back into spawn for their attack here. So we'll see if that pays off at any point. But yeah, you made a good point. I mean, Wu Yang's always kind of, it reminds me a lot of like Sigma, where it's like he's very good at that distance kind of pokey style
gameplay.
Yeah,
he's slow. He's a slow-paced hero.
Very methodical.
Yeah, I think, that's a good way of putting it. So apparently a donation incentive has been activated for Yasu to play Torbjorn. Not sure if we're going to see that on this map or the next map, but the Roadhog is out, and that's going to be a lot of free ult charge for Girl Shui if she can swing it. They're going to lose Yasu somehow. Okay, that's odd. The attack and defense icons, I believe, are incorrect at the moment. Hangzhou Bark, there we go. Thank you, Prod. Yeah, that's going to be Hangzhou Bark having to give up a ton of space off of losing their Genji. And Iridescent is staying on the Roadhog with the Mercy.
All right. Hey, who needs a Tracer when you can just throw the Roadhog on point? But Girl Shui also swapping over to the D.Va. She's going to have to make some magic happen. Funny Istro living up to the Funny Astro way. And when Lucio don't work, you go to the Brig.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oof. Yeah, the Brig is... This is not a super fun comp to play Brig into. Your shield can just get burnt down so quickly, and you yourself can get overwhelmed so quickly. If Iridescent was on like the ball or something, I think I would get the Brig pick a little more, but also, I think you could just do the same thing with Lucio.
Yeah, so that's what's confusing is I don't, like, normally you'd run Brig if you're going to run an Ana just so you can have some sort of, like, fortified backline, but when you're running it with a Kiriko, I mean, one side is just the healing is not going to be there, but the secondly is just you're kind of all alone on an island, dude. When a team decides they want to just dive the Brig, nothing you can really do except run away in fear. I mean, as you can see right now, the Roadhog just kind of just running up to him, forcing out Suzu. I mean, such a crucial, ability you have to waste, not waste, but I mean, have to use on somebody as stagnant as Brig. But either way, Crescent Moon starting to make their leeway with this payload a little bit. You can see a couple ultimates coming up here. We've got Pulse Bomb probably incoming, probably going to go on to Possum, also swapping over to the Brig. But alas, it still looks like Crescent Moon's going to be able to walk this payload in.
Yeah, rally popped. Yeah, that's a rally. That's a rally that Funny Astro is going to want back. But yeah, it's really hard to get this Roadhog dislodged once he gets going. I think it's going to be a lot harder on point B, just because there is such a natural high ground advantage. That being said, I also think that if they just keep snowballing like this, it doesn't really matter. So it's really the impetus is on Hangzhou Bark to actually win a team fight.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I mean, 4 minutes on the clock, plenty of time. He could stay on the Roadhog, mess around a little bit more, and still make, still have enough time to swap over to a real tank and kind of lock it down. You can see Girl Shui swapping over to the Hazard once again, just to kind of help control some of this high ground. A lot of critical bodies on the point, but you got to worry about your own team. As you can see, Yasu lighting up the kill feed, 4 big picks. Girl Shui stealing that 5th, but neither way, Yasu looking completely dominant on the Genji. Huge
There's
blade.
the hazard swap. Yeah, no more Roadhog. Time to go back to something a little bit more normal. Although Roadhog is not completely off meta at the moment. But Iridescent now going to mirror the hazard. Dueling comps, Genji versus Hangzhou. The only difference between the two. Big. Okay.
Wow.
That's MPH fan just kind of erased. Yasuo able to trade out onto the Wu Yang, but
that's Wu Yang for you.
Very
Wu
low.
Yang. I would say, who's on defense here? Because it looks like Hangzhou is completely in the spawn of Crescent Moon right now, and they're forcing him back. Yeah, it's going to be a complete reset here. But that's, again, Wu Yang just has a lot of damage potential. Tracer have one of the lower health pools in the game, so you got to be real careful when you're starting to make that approach. Flanks are super deadly here because, I mean, one headshot from a Kiriko, a Wu Yang bomb, and any type of little, tickle of a team will pretty much eliminate you. Dragons to try to clear the high ground. Got to be careful here. Eastro getting dangerously low up top on the ship.
And no big ultimates coming up yet for either side. Just a pulse bomb in hand for MPH fan. Girlshrey, though, able to get a pick onto Vibing, and that's going to be another fight won by the Hangzhou Bark.
All right. They're looking pretty solid right now. I mean, with that 4-minute time bank really bled quickly because now we're down to the final 2 minutes here. Over the downpour is coming in here, but much of the team is hiding under the umbrella here of safety. Yasu just trying to desperately get out. Break the wall for me, please. Let me out. Oh man, Yasu not able to make the escape. As you can see, Iridescent walling him off. But what a great caller right there. And again, I think the hazard pick definitely paying off in wonders right now. But let's hope it's too late. We got tons of ultimates here on the side of Crescent Moon. We've got the Tidal Blast. We've got Kitsune Rush if we need it. But I mean, Hangzhou, kind of similar standings in terms of resources. You're going to have to be really careful how they make the approach here. K forced to use the Suzu, but jumping into the back line here. Kala trying to get the elimination on the
huge value Tidal Blast. Massive Tidal Blast from Funny Estro. Getting some, but Crescent Moon were able to trade out a couple of kills. Isn't going to be enough, though. They're going to have to reset their push. Kitsune rushes for both sides, vibing over to the Torbjorn. Don't know if that's a donation incentive as well, or just, a pocket pick, but potentially entering final fight territory on point B for Crescent Moon.
100%, Ben. It's coming down to the wire here. One more fight to determine it all. Vibing, also deciding, hey, I don't need the incentive to play the Torbjorn. I'm just going to go the Torbjorn the raw way, but we're going to have to see how the teams make the adjustments. And Kala already saying GG's, 10 seconds left, still have an opportunity to touch, and we've got Kitsune Rush. I mean, I wouldn't count them out too early unless you're not able to get that Kitsune Rush out at all. Girl Shui jumping on him, still has tons of ultimates on the side of Hangzhou, and I think they're just going to save it up and spend it all here. Spend it all when you don't need it.
Really surprising result here on point B. Crescent Moon, I thought, looked very much like the stronger team when they were defending, but unable to get anything going on point B, even after rolling through point A.
It's kind of crazy because it looked like Crescent Moon going into that second point. They looked, in control. They're playing silly. They were playing the Roadhog, and still was able to full cap that first point. 4 minutes on the clock, and next thing you know, I mean, sure, they made the swap when they had 2 minutes left, but I mean, it just felt like they weren't able to kind of get anything moving when once Hangzhou started getting their footing down. But once again, an amazing performance on the map choice. I think they're now 3-0 on that map now.
Yep. Yeah, Yasu just absolutely cleaning people up on the Torbjorn there. Not the
It will be Torbjorn. It's gonna be Torbjorn.
I'm getting tired. Listen, having to wait for this to start tired me out, but looks like we might have another map. We have another map coming up.
Yeah, we'll get that second map choice here in a little bit, but all good, man. You know what I always say to this? I always do #blame Solomon. So let's go ahead and drop those in the chat for my man. I'm just kidding, Salman. I love you, buddy. But yeah, again, Yasu really put the team on the back, so to speak. Just it was kind of a slow start with the Genji, but I think as the match started to proceed a little bit, started to pick up the pace. So we're going to have to see if he can do the same thing on this Torbjorn pick, because we did have a donation incentive. You can pretty much select which character that a certain player gets to play.
That might be a big problem for them, because Yasu was kind of carrying on Genji. So having to put him on Torbjorn might potentially be very detrimental to Hangzhou Bark. But if they know that they're going to have to play Torbjorn, they can maybe try and go to a map where that could be advantageous. We'll see.
Well, I mean, it might be disadvantageous for them, depending on, because I think Crescent Moon get the map selection, right?
Right. Yes, I forgot. Okay, so we're going to be going to New Junk City. So doesn't really move the needle either way in terms of the Torbjorn, but
I would say Flashpoint is one of those maps where, I mean, Torbjorn can be okay, but I mean, I'm just, it's a stretch. Torbjorn's not very a sought after character in the meta at the moment, so to see him on Flashpoint is definitely going to be something. So let's see how they make the adaptations for this upcoming map. But we also have got to see the bans themselves as well. I wonder if you try to ban certain characters that kind of mitigate.
Would it be ethical to ban the Torbjorn? Be like, oh, sorry, I know you wanted me to play Torbjorn, but I couldn't. He was banned.
You know what that means? They just it means he gets benched. Because they do have a sub, so it's like, sorry, it means you got to play somebody else now. It's completely take him out of the game. That's the way you do it. You force him to play Torbjorn, you ban the Torbjorn, and in that way, it doesn't give him any opportunity to play at all.
Exactly.
It's just a 4v5.
All right, we're just waiting on the map bans here. Or not map bans, hero bans. Oh my god.
But yeah, honestly, I saw a lot of good things still from that match. I think Crescent Moon definitely still has an opportunity to still take us to a final map. What do you think Crescent Moon needs to do coming into here, Ben, that they can try to, right the ship, tie the score? Is that what I sound like? Golly. That's all right. I got you, man. So honestly, looking into that second map, I think Crescent Moon really needs to batten down the hatches when it comes to ultimate usage and resources, because they were using up a lot of resources super early on into those fights. Maybe maybe try to lean on the tank a little bit more going into this next map, just to avoid having to use crucial abilities like the Suzu, like the wave from Wu Yang, because those ones are great for engagement tools. Having to use them on defense though kind of eliminates the value of them, so to speak. But as you can see, Hangzhou Bark actually opting to ban the Diva. So I think that's kind of a defensive tool, because honestly, I think that was the only character I think that really made Torbjorn almost nullified. So kind of a good call from Hangzhou, but let's see what Crescent Moon decides to retaliate with.
Yeah, I was muted there for a second. I thought, I was like, why can't I get a word in? But I forgot to unmute myself from before. I think in particular, Hangzhou Bark was getting way more value out of all their Kitsune rushes than Crescent Moon was. And that really enabled them to, Genji ban. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Really forcing Yasu to play the Torbjorn, and also getting rid of the hero that he was using to just dare them limb from limb. So
isn't Yasu required to play Torbjorn?
Yeah, but this is like making, I feel like banning the Genji makes it like, it just takes the option. It takes away any doubt. It's like they're helping make sure that he does play Torbjorn. They're just doing their part to support the charity incentive.
I guess that makes sense. If it was me, I would have saved that ban for the map for the third and potential final map. But hey,
good point.
Their own. But now they're not gonna have access to that in the third map if they win this one.
It's a really good point, actually.
That's the only thing I was just like, are you sure you want? I'm hitting with the John Cena. Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Speaking of John Cena, I watched the season finale of Peacemaker earlier today. So good.
No spoilers. I'm gonna watch it too.
It's really good. It's really good.
Oh, perfect. I love my man John Cena. Great actor, great wrestler. Speaking of greats, this is one of the great maps, man. I know Flashpoint was one of those things that people were kind of concerned about when they first introduced it to the game. I really enjoy this map.
Great segue. 10 out of 10 segue.
Thank you. I try.
But
bomb flats.
No substitutions coming through here for either side. Hangzhou Bark, I'm expecting, so I think this is going to be what we see Hangzhou Bark roll out on. I don't think that's what we're going to see Crescent Moon roll out on, unless... I don't think they meant to roll swap.
Yep. That's why they immediately asked for a pause, and they said, "Solomon, please help me." But it looks like they fixed it. So, all right, they're getting back into it. No biggie. The lobby hosts are quick on to the case, but quick technical pause so they can fix that real quick. But honestly, I'm surprised that Hangzhou Bark don't try to go for like a Zarya, like Wu Yang Brawl style comp and just replace the Reaper with the Torbjorn and then just run it like that. But instead they're trying to go for some creative comps themselves and go with, Reaper, Torbjorn, and Mauga.
Yeah, it's possible they might just not have the hero pool for that. Simple as that. So double flyer with the Wrecking Ball for Crescent Moon, and I mean basically what you could call double shotgun with the Torb Reaper for Hangzhou Bark. Interesting. It seems like an inherent disadvantage for Hangzhou Bark just compositionally, and we see that with Vibing able to get the first pill. Oh, Yasu with the Torb kill. Rocking the Overwatch 1 Toronto Defiant skin, okay? You love to see it.
Oh my goodness, man. What is going on? We're making Torb look good today. Hey, we're about to do a new hashtag. It's not going to be hashtag Blame Solomon. It's going to be hashtag Bring Back Torb. Because right now, Yasu...
He never left.
Looking good. I'm just saying, like, in the meta itself, whoopsies.
I feel like Torbjorn has never been, like, hard meta in Overwatch 2, but he's always been, like, kind of viable,
Yeah, there's a few characters in the game that kind of fall in that realm of like they're not the greatest, but they're not bad either. There's not a bad hero.
like Echo. It's like playing Echo is not. She's not usually like in hard meta, but it's not like on certain maps, certain heroes, it's gonna work. MPH fan able to keep up the pressure, taking out Vibing and Possum there. 2 kills for the Reaper. Crescent Moon not taking advantage of their aerial superiority. Kala now over to the Tracer. Iridescent's gonna go Orisa. Okay.
I would say I think Vibing sticks it out here. I think unfortunately the first point is a throwaway. Not much you can do here. It's really difficult to get any type of like flyers into this map again because of how close quarters it is. But we'll have to see how the second or potential third point is in terms of like aerial space for them. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah. I don't think Hangzhou Bark have had to even use an ultimate yet. They haven't charged one yet. Yasu, the only one with that big white check mark next to their name. He's got the hammer and he's looking for blood. Funny Astro stole it with the melee kill. Was that a 2-kill melee from Caramel, by the way?
I don't know if it was a double or if it was like 2 individual ones, but all the melees happening on the screen, but none for Yasu. I want to see the Torb Hammer. I think everybody wants to see it right here. And honestly, I think if Crescent allows Yasu to get that hammer killed, they might have to add a little bit more money to the charity.
Don't think we have that as an incentive, but might as well be. Possum over now to the Moira. I believe, I think I heard Capitology call this the glitch backline, because they can both just sort of pop out of existence. There's the Kitsune Rush. See what I was talking about before, about them getting so much engagement value from these Kitsune Rushes. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that was another Ajax right there. Girl Schwade dropping the cage fight. At 1 HP, not going to work out, not going to pay off in your favor. Losing access to that ultimate is kind of costly, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it mattered too much. But It was all off of vibing, just trying to pop that barrage. It was trying to capitalize on no tank, but you got to worry about the turret. You asked for this. You wanted the Torbjorn, you got it. And this is exactly what you have to pay attention for. At the start of every fight, you got to eliminate that turret.
Yeah, the turret here really, especially annoying for both of those DPS. Kind of makes it hard for them to take the angles they want. Oh, Caramel, what the frick was that?
Definitely just trying to help out the cause. I think that was definitely an intentional Ajax right there, because that was crazy work. Dashed right in, 1 HP in a dream, but the dream
it doesn't matter, because Yasu and Girl Shui just clean everyone up anyway.
Oh man, just putting the team to work, man, putting the team to bed. Terra Surge coming out here. I think we're probably going to see the Kitsune Rush as well. No, we're not. 4 HP, not much you can do left except run to point number 3. Hangzhou Bark now on set point here to go one step closer to make it into our potential final set of brackets on day 3.
Might have just been a bit of a throw from Iridescent, that Terra Surge. Kala over to the Sombra. Doesn't matter though, because Vibing just gets pre-fighted out of nowhere.
Hey, they're playing super aggressive here. Want to take the fight early on. They have access to a few ultimates. We got the Death Blossom here for miles per hour, so we're gonna have to see if they're gonna use it here along with the Kitsune Rush. Kitsune Rush coming out for K, as well as the Coalescence. A ton of ultimates being used, nowhere near the points, but it looks like Crescent Moon's gonna be able to help capitalize and take advantage of that. And you can see miles per hour going to kilometers once again and going down to 0.
They had to use Coalescence and Kitsune Rush. Usually, I mean, both of those ults overlap so much in their area of effect and how they're used. Crescent Moon now, they kind of got nothing. They're coming up on EMP, Barrage, Terra Surge, but big cage fight from Hangzhou Bark could neutralize all or some of those. But you really want to save the EMP for cage fight. That's really why you play Sombra into Malwa.
Yeah, you just immediately eliminate it. But you see Model A dropping $10 for the charity. I appreciate it. No comment. So we're going to have to see Yasu, 1 HP, able to survive barely, but it looks like Iridescent is going to chase him down. Yeah, not going to survive for too much longer. But just when I say that, Girl Shui getting 2 picks of their own. You got to be careful here. I would imagine that Iridescent maybe going to try to use the Terra Surge to rip their team away. But miles per hour teleporting back and getting K out of position. And they're going to go right back into this fight here, but, I mean, with a deficit is going to be kind of tough. Ajax again? No, barely going to survive this time. And it's still going to get Barrage, but Vibing not going to survive it.
I don't know what Caramel is doing with the sound barriers. At tournaments like this, it's often hard to tell the difference between a team trolling and a team where they just thought that was a good play. But Girl Shui coming up on cage fight. EMP popped really early, able to get the kill onto Yasu.
Oh, but hack him Terra Surge as well. And funny, Istro goaling so low, but Caramel helping clean up the rest of that fight here. And cage fight on the single Sombra said, hey, you know what? I don't have to worry about EMP on this cage fight anymore, so I'm just going to solo trap the Sombra. And just keep it simple. 75% counting, and because we're on Flashpoint, point is going to tick much faster. Getting down to the wire here. I mean, they might be able to get a desperation touch, but I think that's all it's going to be, just desperation. You see Kitsune Rush still waiting in the wings for K. She's going to have to make it work. Kala swapping over to the Widowmaker and getting an initial pick here to start off the fight.
Yeah, that is going to be a fight win. Hangzhou Bark deciding not to use any of their ultimates. It's kind of a small miracle for Crescent Moon that they're able to actually recap the point after how bad that last fight went for them, where they used like 3 ultimates and got multiple kills and still lost the fight.
Okay, we're going to have to see how they make the approach here, just putting Malga straight on the point. Don't worry about anything. Kitsune Rush coming here. Caramel getting dangerously low again.
Suzu goes on to nobody. They lose Funny Astro. Kitsune Rush is able to come out though.
Man, dude, Possum was 1 HP. If they weren't able to find Possum right there, I think they might have been able to end this map right here. But because the crucial ultimates from Crescent Moon, the duo of Possum and K coming in clutch with their ultimates, saving their chances here. They still got a lot of work to do. They still have that 1 point deficit. But hey, it's better than just losing right here and now. So they still can turn things around and potentially win this map.
Yeah, big disappointment there for Hangzhou Bark. They used 3 ults, weren't able to cap the point back. Now, Crescent Moon coming up on a barrage. Vibing hasn't been able to get too much done. She's gotten some kills, but not much else.
Yeah, she's got.
Trying to actually get a fight winner here.
Yeah, she really needs to take advantage of this barrage here. I mean, they don't have anything to really stop the barrage from happening.
There it is.
I was just going to say, the Suze is the only thing that can really kind of close the gap there, but getting the initial pick onto the Kiriko really does help out a ton. Beat coming out here onto the Terra Surge, not going to do a whole lot, especially when you are alone versus an army. And that's the fear. When you run that Widowmaker like that, you get a big Terra Surge, can't really capitalize on it. You're not meant for the splash damage. You're meant for just kind of individual pokes and picks if you can find that miracle headshot amongst this comp.
Is there something in Caramel's psyche that just, like, compels them to use Sound Barrier at the most insane times?
Yeah, it's right.
And that was a 4-player beat, and it saved them during Terra Surge, but it was, like, did not need to be that risky.
Yeah, you're
Cage
looking
fight
at right
back
now,
online for Girl Shui.
The charity is why he does it, right? That's what I'm going to start doing from now on. Whenever I play my ranked games, if I ever make a mistake, I was like, hey, it's okay. I was doing it for charity. Oh, Yasu playing a little aggressive, and he still finds the pick onto Iridescent because, again, the turret always surviving, always looming on the point, and you can see right now Hangzhou just running it to the spawn door. 60% lead right now. They are looking amazing.
Girl Shui getting so many trades here. It honestly doesn't even matter if Hangzhou Bark lose their supports. This Mauga is just so tough to kill.
Yeah, that's always something you have to worry about too. Just like the beefiness of Mauga. You got to be careful. Somebody's got to be able to touch this point. They're able to get the overtime to trigger. Kitsune Rush again coming out here, but Possum popping the Coalescence, I think was stuck in the cage fight, so not able to get anything done. Death Blossom alongside it. Kay was able to get that Kitsune Rush out, but this is going to be the last thing that Kay is able to do as she falls, and finally getting the Torbjorn hammer kill at the very tail end. You make Yasu play Torbjorn, and honestly, it looked like it was a big hindrance to their approach.
The Torbjorn hammer kill! When it mattered the most, Yasu comes in with the Torbjorn hammer kill.
Great stuff right there. Hangzhou Bark now improved their standings to 2-1. Again, it's only a first to 2 out here. We saw the supporters really trying their best to keep Crescent Moon alive, but of course, it doesn't matter when you have DPS like this, man. Hangzhou Bark able to improve their series and keep moving on in our Swiss stage on a positive note.
Yeah, pretty decisive win there, I'd say, all things considered. Was kind of messy at points, but able to pull through when it matters. I think a lot of that comes down to Yasu and Girl Shui.
Oh, 100%. Yasu just really put in the work, so to speak. So we're going to have to see how they deal with, map number, or I guess round number 4 with the upcoming match here. Because, again, I think they need to look just like that going into round number 4 to try and make it into the final day, make it into the top 4.
Yeah, getting that win, very advantageous for Hangzhou Bark. As taking a look at our standings here, those two 3-0 teams have basically punched their ticket to the top 4. And when you look at that, we've got 5 teams at 2-1. So if most of those play each other, we should end up with 4 teams with at least 3 wins. Hangzhou Bark now in a position to be one of them. Crescent Moon probably all but eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a consolation prize. Just want to finish kind of like even, either on the map differential or, I mean, hopefully on the actual matches itself. But you can see Hangzhou Bark just outside of the cut line. Again, we take the top 4 teams from both the EU and the North American regions, respectively. We're going to have to see if they can sneak on in, because obviously it's really dependent on the other teams themselves. They still have control of their own fate. I think if they win this next match with a 2-0, I think they pretty much guarantee a spot in the top 4. But, crazier things have happened, and I'm not a super big mathematician, so I'd have to see what the guarantees are. But it looks like we are probably going to get an interview at some point with Yasu.
Oh, that's delightful. I can't wait to ask him stuff. Um, that is a little bit of a buddy of mine, Yasu. So, very
What did you
much
say?
looking forward
What
to
did you
that.
say earlier? The token cis
That
player.
is. I mean, if you look at their if you look at their team page, he's the only he him on there. So, um,
Oh, that's great.
on
I'm
on
sorry.
on the on the Hangzhou bark, you know.
Yeah, that is great. I gotta start using that in my my repertoire. But yeah, we'll definitely hopefully get to have an interview with them at some point in time. But again, still, uh, based on those standings and stuff, I'm pretty hopeful for Hangzhou Bark. But I'd have to see who their final opponent is to really tell you if they are either a shoe-in or if their tournament run might be a little uncertain.
Yeah, I think we should know that pretty soon once we have the all the teams or all the Swiss round 4 matches set. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let's take a look. See what that looks like. He's getting his webcam stuff set up. Look at that, Solomon, common Solomon W. He's coming back around the corner, so I like to see it. But again, don't forget, guys, exclamation point donate if you guys want to donate directly to our cause. You can see below we are already at $2,617. I missed it earlier. Mr. Red Skull 123 dropped $10 and said, "Brilliant stream, loving the matches and commentary. Keep it up." So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it. As little or as much as you guys like, please donate. It goes directly to an amazing cause for the UNRWA, the UNRWA. They aim to promote a life of dignity and human development. So, all right, Yasu, we are back, baby.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
How's it
What's
going,
up, man?
Yasu?
Excuse me. Who are you talking to?
Oh my God! It's Santa.
Let's go. Yeah.
I always knew Santa was from
Oh.
Finland. I just didn't have any
What a
proof
match.
until now.
Yeah, there's plenty of proof, bro.
I mean, it
I've
makes
gone around.
makes
I've lived
complete
here for a
sense.
while.
Makes
Yeah.
complete sense. If there's
It
any
is really
country
cold here, to
Santa
be
would be
honest.
from.
Oh man, hey, how did it feel to be to finally get that Torbjorn hammer kill at the very end there, Yasu?
Yeah, I was trying really hard to get it up many points in the game. It felt amazing. I felt like it was destined to happen at least at some point, to be honest. But really happy that it didn't end before, my highlight of today.
Of course, and obviously being our MVP, it really made a big difference, a big deal for
I
your
didn't know
team.
that. Thanks, guys.
Of course.
Let's go.
But honestly, I want to get your insight. What are you guys looking to do, or you guys and gals going in to do for this final game of Swiss stage? Are you guys going to be going in with that same mindset of just being a little loose and playing cut to have fun? Or are you going to try hard for this final map to try to guarantee your spot in that final day?
Yeah, so right now I still owe a round of Bastion, so we have to get that done no matter what. We're at this tournament to win, though. Like, I think we actually have the kind of players and the kind of play style that we have some kind of shot of really making it far. So that's number one. But obviously, the Bastion has to be played, and there are some Ajaxes we still have to do. But to answer the question, we're going there to win for sure. Never boom, but we're trying to win.
Perfect. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, seeing Caramel purposely throw himself to the wolves like that was it made me feel good. Was your team kind of just laughing about it, seeing Caramel throw himself to the hungry men?
So I'm gonna put it this way, because the perspective is very important. We're still at like 5 Ajaxes to go or something like that, and we might only have one.
So you admit
game
that you're
left.
trying to Ajax on purpose?
Hell yeah! Of course we are. Oh, come
My
on.
bad. I thought I thought that was just like normal.
Normal, yeah.
It is also normal Caro
gameplay.
gameplay. You've seen natural
I see.
Ajaxes mixed in with the fake ones.
I see.
I do have confidence that we're gonna make it to the tally, but yeah, it is planned. It's like, okay, I'm gonna throw myself off the map. Yeah, okay, good, perfect timing for it. We can still win the map.
I see. It's really a fine balance between throwing on purpose and just throwing because you're
For a good
throwing.
cause, right? Throwing for a good
Yeah, that is
cause.
very true. I
It's
agree.
very fine margins there. Yeah. So
I
tell
mean,
us a little bit about. I have some questions about the.
of course.
What did you think when they came out on the Roadhog, like the Roadhog and the Mercy comp?
On the
Like,
attack,
did that seem like a troll, or did that seem like something that they were genuinely doing? Because it's sometimes hard to tell for me.
I mean, they gotta match the attack somehow. You know, they got Kala on the Genji, the real Hokage. That may or may not be a comfort
Okay.
hero. I'll
Okay.
put it that way, because we know these people, just so you know. Yeah, I thought there was some merit to it, to be honest. Because contesting point with just the Tracer against the Hog is pretty scary. Like, it definitely changes the way we have to play the thing. So,
Right.
no, it wasn't a troll. We had to adjust for sure.
Makes a lot of sense. As we've said before, the difference between trolling and serious gameplay is very narrow in this.
It's very true. I
This
mean,
tournament.
sometimes it bites you as well. Like, if you go watch the VOD of our game versus LavaLillies, on Night Market, there's one Ajax that may have been very costly. Put it that way. It happens sometimes. It happens.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to a potential LavaLillies rematch?
Oh my god. Let's stir it, man. Absolutely. That one kind of bothered me. Like, I really wanted that game. You feel what I'm saying? Jasmine was really keen on letting us know that she wasn't trying. While they got Thanos on hit scan, shooting like 4 people every single fight.
Who's
I
their
don't know
hitscan
how
player?
Unserious it is.
Oh, Ray?
Ray? Yeah, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Literal Thanos. I'm not gonna lie, I was pooping, crying, all the rest. But
something about, well,
if we could get that game and get it back,
deal.
like, that would warm my heart to like a deeper level.
Hopefully you'll get another shot.
Hell yeah.
Yep, definitely have another opportunity to get that run back in the actual final day. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. So good luck on your next match, your last match of Swiss stage. Yasu, we appreciate you coming in for the interview.
I really appreciate it. Hashtag Hangzhou Wolf, guys. Let's go.
Hangzhou Wolf.
Ready to go?
All right. But yeah, you're good to go, man. I appreciate you jumping in. We're going to go to a short break, and when we get back, we're going to get some more Overwatch up and running for you guys. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We are here, round number 4 for our Swiss stage of the EMEA, the EU bracket. I'm Mr. Leapfrog. Along with me right now is going to be Thor. What's up, Thor?
What's up, Frog? Well, I got pulled from being in the control room observing to casting because, hey, that's how we roll here in BPL. So we are already rolling into at least this next matchup between LavaLillies and Yappuccinos. And I'm at least quite familiar with LavaLillies as a team because they do play in a different tournament together, I think, previously in, Calling All Heroes Rising. So this is going to be a familiar set of faces. Yappuccinos, on the other hand, seems to be at least a mix of different players this time around.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not too familiar with either one of them just because I'm normally working at this time, but thankfully we got the weekend here. So it's going to be a nice little change of scenery for me as you can take a look of the rosters themselves. Of course, LavaLillies, kind of the familiar faces, but with Yappuccinos, a little different team. But hey, they got their 5-stack. They're ready to go. No substitutions needed. But alas, both of these teams are currently 2-1 in the actual standings themselves. So a lot on the line here, Thor.
Yeah, exactly. And it does help at least with how the bracket is going to shape up because we are going to head towards, I guess, the actual playoffs starting tomorrow. So this is going to be a critical matchup for these two teams. Now, I don't know about you, but I do like the name Yappuccinos. It's like coffee and chatting, pretty much putting it in one name.
Yeah, I like their, you'll probably see it a little bit later with their team logo itself too. Their team logo is pretty adorable. My sister is, she was watching, she texted me when I told her the team name and she said, how do I join that team and how do I get that logo yesterday? Because she's like a big Dogs fan and she loves coffee. Aww. So definitely something she's a big fan of. But alas, I was telling her, I was like, hey, that LavaLillies team though, pretty fire, pretty sick.
Yeah, they are. But as always, this is a at least first to 2 match from my understanding for the Swiss stages. So for these teams, they've at least are deciding to head to Suravasa first. I think you previously casted New Jug City, so we're heading off to the other familiar Flashpoint map because let's face it, we spent how many months just playing 2 Flashpoint maps?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, these are the 2 Flashpoint maps we had to kind of deal with, and I know a lot of teams really drifted more towards Suravasa. I was more of a New Junk City player myself. However, you know, I didn't mind either one. It's just a bigger version of Control. But let's take a look at the bans, and Yappuccinos actually starting off with the ban onto the May.
Yappuccinos probably don't have Huskies on their team if they decided to go for a May ban, right? Don't like the cold, prefer to have a bit of a cozy set with their coffee, right? Something not to force them to drink it for survivability. But LavaLillies do get a choice of banning either a tank or a support at this point, and let's face it, whichever role is a pretty decent option for ban. I've seen some teams ban a Lucio just so that they could play a Wuyang.
Oh, well, about that.
Other way around, apparently, this time for LavaLillies.
Yeah, it looks like Lucio's going to be played here for sure. Yeah, no cold means it's probably going to be more of like the Pomeranian, maybe the Shih Tzu, something like that in terms of compositions. Sorry, I try to keep it dog related, but it really does kind of scream out what type of composition they're going to lean towards. Considering there's no tank ban, it kind of opens up the availability. However, I think a majority of the teams are going to opt for probably like something like Hazard or Wrecking Ball.
Those are pretty decent options. It's so funny hearing Wrecking Ball as like a viable option come out. Only for the sole reason, I think I've casted way too much NA, and I feel like most teams, if you toss them into a Flashpoint, end up going for like maybe like an Orisa, right? Or maybe like that Hazard, as you've said. And so hearing like, oh, Wrecking Ball is like, I'm definitely in like a simulation called EMEA.
Yeah, it definitely gives me some PTSD when I hear the name Wrecking Ball, just because in my ranked games, it's just nothing but torturous ball mirror matches every single match that kind of keep me hard stuck in Masters forever. So probably going to see a little bit more of that here, so I'll try my best to not grit my teeth while I'm on the microphone. But it's neither here nor there because we're map number 1 set and ready as we load in here This is pretty much a qualification match to make it into day 3. It's not guaranteed, but at the same time, if you lose, you can kiss your chances of making the finals goodbye.
Oh, exactly. And already we're seeing some decidedly interesting picks. You did at least call out that Wrecking Ball, but seeing Aku on that Jungle Queen just means that, hey, they're willing to brawl this out. I think they're just going to have to really be more decisive on who they are targeting, because these are going to be characters on the side of LavaLillies who are just everywhere and anywhere all at once. So a lot of communication is critical for Yappuccinos to get value with this Joker Queen composition.
I wish I didn't speak it into existence, but I did anyway. So let's take a look and see how this first map goes off here. Qualification match essentially coming in here. And Aku going for the JQ. And Genji and Tracer for Yappuccinos, not too bad of a comp. I like their approach here, but you can see Blood Bunny opting for the Reaper pick. She's trying to go and have a lot more damage on the table. Forced to use Fade super early on here. You got to be super careful, willing to commit. Shout being used as well. And now teleporting away, just trying to stay out of harm's way, but still not going to happen with Nicely chasing after you on that high ground.
Yep. Few picks going along the way of Yappuccinos, so that should at least lock in their favor as long as they don't lose anyone else. But already dropping very low is Pumpkin, having to back off, and point capture is in their favor. No ultimates online just yet, just a lot of chaos. But I think Yappuccinos is really playing very well, staying on that point and really sticking together rather than playing apart, because when they're apart, that's when things get a bit dire for them.
Yeah, and you speak of chaos, I think that's like the randomness factor of it, of just like kind of playing everywhere all at once is so important for Yappuccinos, because their composition really relies on kind of focusing down targets, because you see each character individually does a lot of work, but together that's what makes that has that cohesion, and that's essentially what they went for right there. They chased down Blood Bunny, trying to teleport away, but not going to happen. You can see Plush doing an amazing job contesting the point. I mean, almost flipping over, but in Flashpoint, you got to be super careful, because those little 10% here or there actually does make a big difference whether they can either cap it right here and now, or if it's all over for that first point. Because the, you know, similar to Control, you have to worry about the percentage, but it goes a lot faster than you say your normal Control map.
Yep, but Plush doing their respective job of marking that Wrecking Ball. If it's not the Wrecking Ball, it's a Tracer, but with Lilac already back in spot, is just the touches left for the few players of LavaLillies. They, them trying their best to keep things alive for everyone else, but this should at least turn over for Yappuccinos as full cap for them, and they are going nicely into this next point with 4 ultimates. So if I am Yappuccinos, you have a general idea that they've already used mines, so that's definitely out of the cards for LavaLillies. So they have to care for maybe this rush that's already committed by Taiko.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the field here, and you can see it definitely happening, unfolding before your very eyes right here. Having the Kitsune Rush on the Reaper as well, just infinite damage galore, and they're definitely going to capitalize on that. Still 10 seconds left to go before the Flashpoint unlocks, but they look like they're in pretty good possession of that first point here. 5 ultimates on deck here for Yappuccinos. Don't want to press Q simulator, but it might happen here. We might see 4 or 5 ultimates coming out at once.
I mean, at worst, this is going to be a 6-7 ultimate drop, considering LavaLillies will have 3 coming into this next engagement, so they have that beat to keep themselves alive, but with Taiko down, this might be looking like a dire situation.
Ooh, just when you say dire, it's tied up right now. Kitsune Rush still on the field here for EMEA, but it's going to have the back and forth action with little to no support. Mochi popping the beat at the perfect time right here, keeping Blood Bunny nice and healthy. She got a 1 pick. She's looking for more, though. As you see, Aku falling dangerously low, and they do get the pick onto the JQ. And it's interesting. I wonder why they decided to engage with that Rampage. I guess they either saw Suzu or maybe caught the Kiriko so low where they thought they could, start off the fight with the Rampage, but not going to find too much value with that ultimate. And you saw 4 ultimates gone and still a loss. LavaLillies super happy with that fight.
This Wrecking Ball ultimate from they, them is likely going to be used to deny the space of the Blade that Please Ask Nicely has on him. So Blade already committed, trying to get this Kiri, does not survive with the peel of themselves, of their fist, apparently.
Apparently, you can see the Tracer duel on point is pretty much going to dictate whether who gets the point here, but with they them still nice and healthy on the point. Aku not able to do a whole lot without any type of support with it. Using the shout super late in that fight, trying to find the boop off here. Oh, and Blood Bunny getting caught out of position, and because of that little mistake there, not rolling with the ball, they're going to wind up getting that point flip over, but still 99% for LavaLillies, so it's not too shabby. All they need to do is get one more fight win, and that second point will be decided in their favor.
Likely in their favor, they have that rush from Taiko available online, and she could really just rip that at any moment because there's nothing to deny it from the side of Yappuccinos. You're just hoping Aku does not build towards his respective Junker Queen ult to at least deny the value of it, or at least force Suzu way early.
Yep, and see Kitsune Rush coming out from Taiko, accidentally falling to Nicely, but it looks like they still were able to get the pick onto the tank, which is going to be a crucial pick here. A lot of that sustain is going to be gone on the side of Yappuccinos, looking for the boop, not going to be able to find it there. Pumpkin getting a little too overzealous, trying to get that environmental kill, and wind up getting killed themselves. Pulse bomb onto the Kiriko right there, and that essentially will close out round number 2.
A good thing from Yappuccinos, they're really just stalling this point, trying to get percentage up, but with the Lucio of Pumpkin still up, they should be able to recontest. No, it's first to Splash Mush, and that should be enough, especially with your Lucio with beat online, opting maybe not to use it now that your Queen is down.
Yeah, I think that at this point, you just kind of take your loss and just move on to the next point. You have a ton of ultimates coming up here as well. You've got Kitsune Rush, you've got Beat, you got Carnage again, or the Rampage again. So all you got to do, just bait out the Suzu. So it's going to be up to the DPS from Yappuccinos to kind of allow Aku to get a big Rampage on this next point. You see Blood Bunny kind of taking that off angle right here, going to catch Blush a little off guard. I see you rooting for them in the chat. You got to be real careful. Give them too much energy and they might implode.
Yep, bit maybe of an overheating, but for Yappuccinos, they really just stabilize just a bit, just because MEV is already dropping very low, forcing out the beat from Pumpkin.
Ooh, and the beat again is going to be coming in clutch time because Blood Bunny is able to kind of play a little aggressive right there, and maybe perhaps too aggressive because that beat kind of wore out by the time the fade was over. And, I thought that, LavaLillies are going to be able to easily take this point here, but thanks to all the picks from Aku and Pumpkin kind of speeding onto targets and stuff, they might have a lot tougher time to get this re-engaged. They've got Kitsune Rush that they want to use. I would imagine it's going to be coming out anytime soon the moment the mines disappear. And here it goes. Emmy being the aggressor, and again, Blood Bunny forced to dive back, but the blade coming out from Nicely. No connection on the post bomb from Lai, but I don't think it matters too much because Plush is just going on a tear right now. Got 2 on the kill feed, trying to make it a 3rd.
Yep, is there just spin to win for they them to keep things alive, but this should turn in the favor of Yappuccinos once they finally get the pesky Tracer of Lilac out of this point. 54% locked in for LavaLillies. For Yappuccinos, walking into this next fight with just a Pulse Bomb. For LavaLillies, on the other hand, you do have that rush. So Taiko is likely going to be building up towards this ultimate before she rips it off onto the team of Yappuccinos, who do like to stack just a bit together. So definitely going to get more value from that rush.
Yeah, definitely, and you see, that's kind of their wheelhouse. That's that. Whoa!
Never mind.
Just when we say that, yeah, I think you jinxed them right there. That's the old commentator's curse, but it does not matter. 2 picks from LavaLillies, despite losing their Kiriko. They lost their potential. You see right there, my Suzu getting lost right there. Does not matter. And you see now Yappuccinos starting to turn the corner, now taking the lead in terms of percentage. They still have an opportunity to retouch here, but it's looking pretty dire. They're going to have to try to use these desperation minefields from LavaLillies.
I think if you are Yappuccinos, you probably might have to use this beat just to deal with maybe what might be a Mines Rush combo from LavaLillies, especially when already back on point is they them spinning to win. Try to stall it just a bit more, but we got $20 of a donation thanks to D Grangle for us, and already picks in the favor of Yappuccinos, down up 1.
Okay. And you see ultimates still waiting in the wing. I don't think they're going to commit too much more. Yeah, I think they're just going to regroup here. They baited out a crucial one like the minefield. Whoa, double kill from Pumpkin. What a call. Man, they're doing amazing right now, and they still got access to beat if they even need it. And I think they're going to be able to hold on to it for the next point unless, they then decide to come in and disrupt the team. You can see no ultimates on the side of LavaLillies to kind of help turn this fight. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a reset, maybe save it for the next point, unless they think, nope, then that's going to be it.
Yep, that should be it. Curtains for LavaLillies, at least for this point. Once Yappuccinos manages to get them off the field, who is doing their darn best to spin the win on the fountain, and realizes that with a final touch from Mochi, please, at least decides to back up, and I think that is a good call, because at least what you've done is built towards ultimates for your next engagement, walking into potentially 4 in this next point for LavaLillies. Yappuccinos also on that same boat with 4 ultimates, so a lot of this is going to be a trade back and forth. If you are Yappuccinos, you're probably waiting for maybe that Kiriko Suzo to be out before you rampage, or maybe even just that Lucio beat, because one way or the other, you need one of those cooldowns out.
Yeah, you gotta bait it out. It's such a crucial ability just to kind of get out of the fight, and you see the pile drive just pushing Pumpkin out of position. No ultimates needed. That's a big win for LavaLillies here. That's a dry fight that they get to win. No ultimates being used, and they get this first point here. And I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a pretty decent chunk of engagements where, like, if you take the point first on Flashpoint, how often you actually win the site. So let's hopefully it's that number's in their favor, because they've got early point control and they don't have to really worry about the approach too badly here. Kitsune I don't think is too viable in this little tight corridor.
No, but you saw that attempt from Mochi to try to boop someone back into the minds of them. At least they managed to get the Kiriko out of the picture, so no peel for this Genji, who is barely subpar HP, and that should be a cleanup for them. So no ultimate still used from the side of LavaLillies, already going in their favor. So we're expecting in this probably do or die fight in this next engagement from Yappuccinos is a huge trade of ultimates. Ooh.
Oh, they still get the ball, so I don't think they're worried about it too bad. And Aku is actually pretty healthy on this fight here. So, I mean, despite I was thinking the same thing, Thor. Don't worry, I was like, that's a little much, but still able to make a big fight, a big commitment here. Speaking of commitments, Death Blossom on the point and nicely dashing into your death. And that Blossom is going to be enough to be able to take that point and take us to a map number, or a round number 5 here, a final round for our first map. What a barn burner here.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of times there for Yappuccinos where I think they should have just maybe hard regrouped before popping a bunch of ultimates. But if you are the team, you should be glad that you forced so many other ultimates from LavaLillies. 3 in total, make maybe 4. But I think after Mochi please meets, this should be a clean fight. No beat to keep things alive. Just hoping to keep your Junker Queen healthy.
Yeah, they need to. I think LavaLillies is doing an excellent job at like resource management and stuff, because you see a lot of these fights that they win, they're not committing too many abilities or ultimates or anything. They're just kind of just running in, isolating targets, and doing their job. And you can see right now the beat coming out here from LavaLillies, so this might be one of the few fights where they have to commit something big, and they find success with it. The beat coming out from Mochi at the perfect time to keep their team nice and healthy, and just like that, Mochi is going straight to the back line and wants to find more. She's thirsty for a lot more than Mochi.
Exactly, and for Yappuccinos, a very costly fight for nothing to go in your name, right? You've used your Pulse Bomb, your Blade, your beat, so you're only going into this with a rush. And just from how these ultimate trades are going, LavaLillies looks like they're the slightly front runner because they're already leading in percentage. They just need to hold, but they just allow the swap to easily happen, so this changes things.
Ooh, Minefield on the point, and this point especially is really good for the minefields itself. But yeah, again, I think it's going to be super unfortunate that they got that flip there, because now these minefields, they're really not too worried about it. As long as they hug the corners, they're still getting percentage and they're still in control at this point. But alas, again, the DPS from Yappuccinos just really put in the work here. Mochi trying their best to keep their team up afloat, but I think unless, Mad Purple decides to pull clutch time mode, it's not going to be a point flip anytime soon.
Yep, 51%, and Mochi's still alive for LavaLillies. I think this is a side for them to just regroup, and Plush must try their best to at least manage his health back. Has not at least gotten it back online. Pulse Bomb available for both teams, and that Rampage for Yappuccinos. So already, if you can find this Kiriko right away, that would be great, but already committing Rush is Taiko.
Oh, big commitment again. The Rampage able to find at least Lilocked, and no Pulse Bomb, so it means no kind of burst damage here. Trying to catch the Lucio out of position, and they do. And now when the percentage coming down to the final wire here, unless Blood Bunny could find a miracle Death Blossom here, it might be all but over for this first map for the LavaLillies.
Yep, beats the online for Pumpkin there just in case they need to this last fight to deal with mines, and that's exactly what they're doing.
You gotta be careful here. The point might be a little dangerously. It's again, look how close it is. I don't even see the transparent, just a little sliver, but the sliver is all that's gonna be left here. As right now, it's just kind of just finalizing this point here. Yappuccinos taking map number 1. Looking pretty good here.
I think this was a solid showing of why both of these teams are 2-1 for their respective Swiss stages. A lot of the back and forth shows that they have an understanding of how they want to attack a point, what ultimates to use, what cooldowns to use, and how to keep the point alive, for example, in this Wrecking Ball composition. So a lot of this in the end really is what it feels like once Yappuccinos manages to stabilize that point in their favor, it's pretty much in their control. It becomes harder to dislodge them. Whereas for LavaLillies, it's a very different situation. The times where they've won that point in Suravasa, where they deny it's points where they denied Yappuccino any chance to even touch the point, right? They've used ultimates or gotten picks right before even Yappuccinos could get to the point. So
and he's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean that is textbook Overwatch, right? That is exactly what you need to be seeing on a game-to-game basis.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for LavaLillies, that's something that they could at least capitalize on for maybe this next match up, right? I think it's really pushing Yappuccinos to have their fight not on that point, but even further from point initially, so that it flips in their favor. It's like that weird idea of like, oh, find the areas of the map where you want to fight, except for LavaLillies, it's never on the point. It is always somewhere prior to the point, and then trying to keep Yappuccinos stuck in that area.
Yeah, and honestly, if we look back at that map, if LavaLillies had not given up that final point, or that last point, halfway through the fight, I think it would have been a completely different story, because they were doing an excellent job staggering. It would have gave their DPS enough time to get their ultimates built up and actually use them throughout the fight. So again, one little mistake like that was all it took for this match. And if that's how it's going to be for the rest of the series, I'm excited, because these teams are definitely locked in, so to speak. And both these teams desperately need the win, because again, we're only doing the 4 rounds of Swiss play. So it's essentially going to come down to like the teams that are 3-1. And if you look at the standings right now, both of the teams are currently 2-1. So they both need the win to essentially qualify into our top 4.
Yeah, exactly. But we are at least heading to a map that is yet again involving points that need to be fought for. We're going back to our tried, tested, and always has been around stable map in Overwatch. Yes, it is Lijiang Tower, and I don't know about you, but this map is always somehow in a team's pool of, I must know how to play this map.
Yeah, this is another one of those maps that was like, I think one of the launch maps, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I was around for the actual launch of Overwatch, so I'm like old man status at this point, but it's still to this day like one of my favorite maps to play on, both aesthetics and just actual gameplay wise, because you can play a couple different variant comps. You've got the tower as well that allows you to play so silly. You can really run the Lucio, start to boot people off and play a little environmental heavy, or you can kind of play point centric with like something like a Symmetra or a Malga and just kind of anchor onto point. So it allows for different play styles, which makes it fun for me, because it's not the same old Overwatch we've seen back in 2018. You can really start to shift things up, play a couple different characters, and with the additions of like new characters like Juno and Wu Yang and stuff like that, it really opens up the wheelhouse, so to speak.
I 100% agree with you, and I think that shift, right, when we went from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, just the drop of that other tank really changed the way Lijiang Tower is played. There's, in my opinion, more variety of compositions you can run compared to previously, where it was just a hard brawl map, with the exception to maybe Gardens, where teams could get a bit more silly in terms of compositions. You'll see some people playing Wrecking Ball in that map previously, or even like a dive with that Monkey Diva. But now with that less of a tank, it you're able to play things like a Wrecking Ball maybe in other maps or even something divier in others, but already you can see LavaLillies switching into that ban onto the Junker Queen, which makes sense because I think Aku was doing an immensely good job for Yappuccinos in that previous map of Suravasa. He was keeping the point alive, making sure, from what I've at least seen, everyone on the team in a cohesive target, like single target mindset. I think that hive mind, as we like to kind of call it.
Yeah, 100. You hit the nail right on the head right there, Thor. It's so essential to kind of like be in synergy with your entire team. Everybody needs to be synonymous with their decision making and everything. It's frustrating to play against, but it's damn good Overwatch. It's one of those things, I really envy it. I wish I could play like that in my ranked games, but it never seems to happen. Even when I'm playing with my friends, it just never kind of lines up like that, where it just, everybody's on the same page. So banning the Junker Queen could throw a monkey into the wrench for when it comes to this comp. I know, back in Overwatch 1 days, all we used to run was the Rein Zarya on this map. That's all we run. Even on the tower, even on Gardens phase, we still just run Rein Zarya, teleport to point, and just anchor down and just batten down the hatches. So we're gonna see a very similar style with like the Zarya and the Wu Yang, and you see LavaLillies going straight to that. That's a very popular comp being played at all levels of Overwatch. And it looks like Yappuccino is also going to kind of follow suit. However, the only glaring difference is we're going to see a Lucio versus the Wu Yang.
Yep, so LavaLillies is going for a bit more high damage type of situation, the dirty bubble as I would like to call it, because you could just have that Reaper act as like that second tank, soaking in all the damage for you with that bubble.
Okay, that's your battery. I remember Denji was telling me earlier, that's essentially what you have to run Reaper for. You need to have your battery for the team. Tracer getting the pick here initially, but falling suit, so it's still even about 4-4. But either way, right now LavaLillies looking nice and healthy, and you got to be dangerous. Yeah, it's one of those things that when you try to run against a Zarya comp that has access to a Reaper, obviously they banned the Venture because they didn't want to worry about exactly what you just saw. Just a big beefy, DPS diving into your backline or even your front line in this case. It makes it so difficult to stop him.
I think it also just means the no Venture means that the Zarya has one less option on who to give that bubble to. It really is that Reaper at the end of the day, and I think the displacement of a Venture would have been super annoying if you were Yappuccinos, especially if you're not playing these boop characters like a Wu Yang, but already taking a nice off angle is Please Ask Nicely with no one really marking him over there.
Yeah, he's kind of sitting back. He's getting a lot of poke damage, and he needs to do it fast because he's got to build up a lot more damage to try to match the ult charge. Because again, compare it to the Reaper. Reaper can just go in whenever he wants to shoot whoever he wants to. Genji doesn't have that liberty. Doesn't have the. I mean, sure, you can get a bubble and stuff, but it almost feels wasted when it comes to the way that they want to make the approach. And you see Blood Bunny, she was able to get the pick there, but losing her life in exchange. I don't know if this is a worthy trade, considering they lost a big chunk of their damage, but we'll have to see if the Yappuccinos are going to be able to capitalize on it. They're pretty close to getting this point to flip, but just when I say that, it always twiddles back down to 0.
Yep, good grab. No pulse needed with it, does just enough of a job getting out Mochi from the play, and these are just like a chase after a Taiko on this Wu Yang, but manages to get health back and out. Pulse bomb's still available, don't need to use it. Plush manages to help Aku get this point back online for Yappuccino, 77% for LavaLillies, and the only ults to their name are going to be this Kiriko Rush and the Blossom. So I will not be surprised if they open up with this Rush. So MEV has to be going in with this Rush in order to at least counter the Rush of Mochi, but decides to be the aggressor instead.
Yeah, and then right there you see Blood Bunny was thinking about pulling the trigger, actually going to hold back on it nicely, going to the back line, getting a big pick right there. Sure, it was just the one, but it was a crucial one at most. I mean, I guess Zarya already fell at that point, but it was one of those things they definitely needed. That you see nicely immediately go into the Genji diff right there. Lai is going to be gritting his teeth for that one, but we'll see if they can try to retaliate with their own big blade incoming, especially with access to Kitsune Rush on top of that, makes the blade swings that much faster.
Yep, Yappuccinos not really have anything to add to these barrage of ultimates from LavaLillies,
Whoa.
and with Aku down, that even turns things pretty dire for them. So all of this matters is for Flushmos to kind of contest the point, tries to do so with a pulse bomb, gets nothing for his name, and must come back out.
All right, back to spawn we go. But I mean, look at what the resources LavaLillies has next to. We still got Tidal Blast. Is probably gonna go on the Reaper. Reaper's gonna go straight to the back line, start hunting them down, and no beat from Pumpkin. So I mean, they're gonna have to pull off a miracle right here. Tidal Blast coming in as well. Reaper Blossom incoming. The bubble's not gonna save you for that much longer, Aku. You're falling down to 1 HP. You get the pick, but alas, it does not matter. The damage has already been done. And now it's just a Tracer on the point against an army. Now you got to deal with a Blade as well. And Lilac at the end of the day is going to be happy with that win because the Genji diff is not going to matter when I win this point.
Exactly. And a lot of this was just really what seemed to be the ult management difference between these two teams, because LavaLillies ran into that point with ultimates in the bank, whereas Yappuccinos only had that a pulse bomb online, having used the other three just to even turn the point, or at least keep the point alive in their favor. So if I am Yappuccinos, I think I would have to reconsider at least how we use ultimates at what given point. I think there needs to be an ult management, or at least an ult tracking kind of situation for them, because if they knew LavaLillies was walking in with 4 ultimates, they really had no reason to use 3 in that other fight. So hopefully this next point turns things around in their favor, with Yappuccinos going for actually a mirror match up. So we're going to see if Yappuccinos can keep up with LavaLillies in this head-to-head battle.
I like it. I like the swap here. I think the Tracer and Genji thing, it was okay, but I think when in terms of raw damage, you're missing out on a crucial part. Another crucial part you might be missing here, Thor, you might be missing your Zarya in this fight, and it looks like they're just going immediately back to spawn. Instant fight win right here for LavaLillies, and like I said, resource management is going to be so important in these matchups, especially in the mirror matches. You're running the same comps. You don't really have to worry about anything except what decisions you decide to make. And just when I was saying a mirror match, nicely saying, okay, you know what, you win the Genji duel, I'm going over to the Cassidy.
Yep, but already trades happening on the side of LavaLillies in their favor, being up 1. So if I am Yappuccinos, I think a lot of this is having to just hard regroup into the safety, try not to fight into whatever is already this LavaLillies who are pushed up, which I did mention. The points that they were winning in Surabasa was when they were playing the fight, not on the point, but where Yappuccinos wants to push out. So already doing that textbook analysis and denying value, but Please Ask Nihilistes was not nice enough today. Said, we're taking the Reaper out.
Yeah, just immediately shutting it down, and that's the thing you have to worry about with that flashbang. Pretty much nullifies any type of movement ability. Tidal Blast to the backline. Purple getting a big pick, said, you know what, I'm gonna take that personally. Getting the pick onto nicely right there, but just when I say it, Purple going to the backline, still has a full healthy life lead and a full charge, but the Reaper battle on point is gonna be crucial here, because I think even if Aku gets the pick here, which they do, it doesn't matter because they've lost this point. And it looks like they're going to be able to help stagger quite a little bit longer onto this payload. Oh my goodness, and the Cassidy hate is going to continue onward. A solo grab onto nicely, immediately recognizing, okay, that was just pure disrespect.
Okay, if you're Yappuccinos though, you forced out another ultimate from LavaLillies. They only have this rush and potentially a blade. So if I am Yappuccinos, I think I commit with either maybe this your own rush to counter their rush, or at least going in with maybe this Reaper Blossom and a Tidal Blast on them.
Siaku just desperately trying to get some sort of charge going right here, and the blade coming in from Lilac gets 2, make it a third, essentially 3 picks right there from Lilac individually. I mean, not having to commit too much off of that engagement, and it looks like they're going to be able to help take this point here. Sure, they got that little flip at the end of the day, but it's going to take a lot more than that to try to take this map away from us. And just like that, I think maybe Plush might be able to get a touch. Not going to happen. Just a little short right there. But we are going to a map number 3. And this is it, Thor. We're going the distance. Winner of this match, essentially, will have an opportunity to qualify for the finals tomorrow.
Oh, exactly. And I think in this situation, it really is, I think for Yappuccinos, that Blade of Genji manages to at least force out their spot, but I think where they ended up next really just allowed for value from Lilac's Genji Blade. So already we're at this 1-1 setup between these two teams, and at least if I am Yappuccinos, I think they get to decide the next map from the pool of options, and well, there's no escaping it. We're going to a hybrid. at least from what I understand.
100%. I think they're gonna have to just focus down on the objective side itself, because I think if they try to go for like the raw back and forth, one-on-ones, they're not winning too many of those. So they really need to start playing a little bit more objective focused if they want to try to take this series away from LavaLillies. Because again, despite that first map and how close it was, they looked like they were still in pretty good control a majority of the map. And you just saw exactly why in that control map. When it came down to the nitty gritty of things, they were just playing super solid.
Oh, 100%. And I think it's also the compositional difference. I think when you're watching them play maybe this Kiriko Wuyang type of setup, it's, while you would like your Kiri and Wuyang to be at least kind of close to each other to like help each other out, at the same time you kind of need to have some distance, and there was more of a stacking kind of situation for Yappuccinos, as if they were still playing that Kiriko Lucio, right, trying to deathball together, when that really doesn't work as well when you're playing Wuyang Kiri, because you want some of that distance, because you're then forcing the enemy team to figure out where to look, where to go on to, and that's what LavaLillies capitalized on, because they would force their at least Kiri to their Wuyang to split. But it seems like we are going to a push map. Is that allowed?
Oh. I mean, apparently, but I'm just really surprised. I thought, even if it is allowed, I thought they were for sure going to go to like a payload map of some sort or hybrid or something like that, just to try to get away from something like this. But then also to choose the Esperanza, the Esperanca, I wonder if they have a game plan for this. Because obviously they're going to be able to come into this. They have access to JQ again. They're not going to be able to ban JQ for the remainder of the series, obviously this being a final map and all anyways. I wonder if that's going to make a big difference here, Thor.
I think what's interesting is, okay, so apparently it's allowed. I think my biggest worry is they know they have their JQ back in their pocket to be able to play, but I think it gets nullified if you give LavaLillies a chance to ban, the Lucio that goes really solidly well with this Junker Queen. So the fact that Yappuccinos have banned that Zarya says that they're willing to take that risk that LavaLillies may ban that Lucio, or at least have LavaLillies decide, okay, what are we banning instead of tank? Because I think the tank was maybe something they wanted to ban. And so Yappuccinos banning the Zarya might honestly just be in response to how well that Zarya Reaper composition of LavaLillies worked in Lijiang Tower. But my personal opinion of it is it's a solidly good composition on a map like Control or Lijiang Tower, but I don't think it is a 1:1 it's a composition that could reflect similarly in a map like Push 1:1. I think just from map design, it runs completely different.
Yeah, and it's, again, I think they're mainly worried about the Wu Yang, Zarya, like Kiriko comp. So, I mean, hey, take the head off the snake and just deal with just the Wu Yang by itself. I think is an excellent strategy in itself. They're still going to be able to play, I think, the Wrecking Ball, which is kind of what I think they were really strong with. And honestly, if I'm Yappuccinos, I'm really trying to focus the Wrecking Ball aspect of things, get rid of the Wrecking Ball, so that way you're not worried about, because man, remember, we're on push now, so all you have to worry about is getting bodies off of the push bot, get it the distance, and go from there. But LavaLillies retaliating with the ban on the Tracer, so we're gonna have to definitely see how they try to factor that into their JQ mix-up here. But again, this is top 4 qualification. So again, both of these teams on the bubble, so to speak. They both really need this win to have any chance of qualifying.
Exactly. And if you are Yappuccinos, you really want at least solidly lock this in for yourselves. But it's super funny that the other team that they're up against for that spot happens to be Hangzhou Bark. So we have like 2 dogs trying to fight for their way to that spot. It's very silly to look at, by the way. Thanks for sharing that, Solomon.
Yes, thank you. That is definitely going to be a dog fight for that final spot in our top 4. Again, it's you saw the people in red. Those unfortunately are the teams that are mathematically out of the running. But you saw a lot of the teams still have an opportunity here. So luckily for these teams, they're kind of in control of their own fate. unlike this lobster here, not in control of their fate.
They have some level of control. It's a choice of being either on the cutting board or in the burner. So, pick and choose your battles, right? Do you want to be chopped up or do you want to be fried up? So, hey, I'm just saying, 2 options.
You know, I'm a big fan of like put the knife to the dome and just cut me up. Don't boil me alive. I'm good on all that.
I mean, there is like an ethical way, by the way, to cut up fish and I think seafoods in general, where they pretty much don't stress out by the fact that they're being cut into. There's a specific part that you're supposed to stab the
like
the knife
or
in.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to cut it from there. But already showing this wrecking ball composition is LavaLillies hoping to cut through this Yappuccinos side of things, who are showing a monkey instead. So hoping for a divier kind of engagement, especially onto the Wuyan, but already Lilac taking out MEV is not the way to go.
See, that's what I'm confused at. Like, if you're planning on running this dive style comp, why wouldn't you opt to ban the Reaper here? I'm kind of in awe that they decide to go for the Zarya ban, and they're gonna play a composition that would have worked well against the Zarya anyways.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. I think it's just I guess it might just be the threat of that bubble onto the Reaper and just being able to like pummel damage onto Aku on this Winston. But on the flip side, what they're just ending up doing is chasing after the squishier backline of Yappuccinos in all of this. But Pumpkin already putting name into the spookiness of the season, getting this wrecking ball off the table.
Okay, not a bad start. This is good. And I think nicely on the Cassidy as well is one of those things I think it does help hinder a little bit of Purple's mobility. And right now that bot is not moving anywhere. I was going to say, they're doing a great job getting these picks and eliminations, but yeah, definitely a good snipe right there from Aku. Hey, Winston looking pretty good. Maybe I'm biting my own tongue here, but big turnaround here.
I think they were shocked by what LavaLillies were running, right? Realizing that they're running the same thing, except for just place the Zarya with the wrecking ball. So now they have an idea, okay, how are we playing against this? And already, true to fashion, playing slightly together this time around and diving as a unit when they can.
Oh, excellent stun right there. It looked like Purple was ready to go pile drive into the team right there. Blood Bunny running for her life right there as well. And you see the Genji's kind of dueling it out, 1 HP. I don't think Plush is going to be able to survive unless they're going to get some type of support right now, and they do with the help of Nicely as well. Excellent job kind of isolating their targets with that high noon. Pile drive eliminating him from the scene, but you can see again, Wrecking Ball trying to take the point away from the Purple, just really being a nuisance on the objective itself. Wu Yang popping the Tidal Blast on themselves to help give them some sort of breathing room, but it doesn't seem like Aku is going to give him any room for error, running away into the wall and into their death.
Might have been a slight DC, who knows, ping difference, but a Primal onto a Reaper Blossom with barely subpar HP and no supports. That might not have been the play, Aku, but already, as we expected, there is a pause. If there was anything, that Taiko death may have given an idea of what just happened there. And finally, we get to at least see some breather. If you need some cuteness in your lives, that Yappuccinos logo is very, very cute.
Of course. So, good. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, maybe he just immediately tried to go into team chat or match chat or something like that. But yeah, definitely a DC for a second. So, call for pause after the fight was over to give their teammate an opportunity to reconnect. So we'll have to see how that works. I think Solomon was telling me he's got the disconnect protection as well, so it helps them keep their actual charge themselves. So don't have to worry about that. Thankfully, because I know back when I was playing, it was one of those things, you get disconnected and your ult was gone.
Oh yeah, I remember those days, Frog. I also used to play previously, but now I am a washed player because I don't play the game enough. AKA, I just really hate playing comp. It's literally just I do not want to play ranked. That is the only reason I don't play on teams anymore. I do not like playing ranked, but somehow everyone requires ranked because that's the only way to actually get an idea of what a skill level of a person is. So it's just like, my loss.
My loss, but hey, that's what the cool thing is. I get to do more stuff like this. You and I get to hop on the mic and commentate some amazing matches themselves.
Oh, Exactly. And I think what is at least amazing is the fact that we are doing this for a very important cause, right? For those who are at the stream, we are at least doing this stream titled Watch Over Palestine because we are at least getting donations to at least help out the Palestine refugees in that area, right? So we are going to be donating whatever proceeds we get here to the UNRWA, or the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, who are doing a great job trying to at least provide the assistance that the people of Palestine do need, right, in order to at least keep themselves up and hopeful in this time of struggle that they're going through.
Yeah, and as one of those things, I've been supporting the campaign for a long time, so to see this as well, I was immediately on board. But we're finally back into this. LavaLillies, again, we're able to kind of eliminate the team and kind of take the bot back for themselves, but nicely back alive, trying to get rid of this mad purple wrecking ball and doing a pretty good job of doing it. Every single time they get stunned, it forces the purple to kind of back up to the rest of their team.
Yep, it's a really solid way to slow down the tempo, but already slowed down in tempo is Aku, taken out by Lilac, but the blade is looking like an even trade.
Ooh, it was an even trade at first, but it looks like it's maybe going in favor of Yappuccinos. Despite losing Aku at the very start of that fight, they're still able to regroup and kind of batten down and still take the win there. Man, that was a great turnaround. Good retaliation ults from Yappuccinos. Again, Aku overstepped a little bit too far, and it didn't matter because he's got the teammates to help them back them up, and they're able to take the lead here just narrowly, and hopefully if they're lucky, they should be able to get the checkpoint as well, and they do. This is a huge stop right here. This is an amazing point to kind of get to right here, because now if they get the bot back to this point, they don't have to worry about it getting forced to stop at that checkpoint.
Yep, and already forcing out cooldowns from LavaLillies, so Rush available online may not need it, but I think they should, and follow up with this Cassidy High Nude just to at least create some tempo and space, or maybe not. Plush Mush cleaning things up.
That's a good call too. And look at that, Plush again going straight to the back line, just chunking them down. Right now, this Cassidy, it was one thing, it was a glaring difference between the compositions, and I think it's actually paying off in wonders right now. Dividends even, because they made so much space off the ultimate. They're not even getting any eliminations. Not even targeting anybody, and it's still getting value. So it's a great ROI, great return on investment. So we're gonna have to see if that pays off later on down in the match, because we still have 5 minutes left, but unless they have a way to kind of close out the map altogether, Minefield coming out from purple and still going to be able to get picks here and might be able to start getting the spot going the other direction.
It's looking like just a few more cleanups for LavaLillies, but I think if I were Yappuccinos at this moment with this Cassidy Kiri, I don't think you're going to be getting out alive from all of this, so you might as well have just died on point. So looking pretty dire. Is Please Ask Nicely still alive? Contesting? Hello?
I can fight him.
Yo, your Kiri bailed you out so hard, stalled out so hard for everyone else on Yappuccinos to come back.
Wow, and that's actually clutch mode right there, because now they baited out the Death Blossom from Blood Bunny. So sure, she had to use it right there, but I mean, again, that was a dry fight for Yappuccinos. All they did that for was to kill time, because 5 minutes on the clock is a lot for push. And to stagger that almost a full minute off of that clock, still get forward spawn and not have to worry about anything, I think they're really happy. Again, shout out to whoever donated another $5. Comment was Free Palestine, so help them out. Again, great. Thank you for the donation.
Exactly. All donation is very helpful, but what's not as helpful is Yappuccinos just letting them cap point, but at least force out the Kiri in all of this. So High Noon use, I think if you're Yappuccinos, you just end it there in the ultimates usage. Trade for nothing more, as this should be in your favor.
When did purple swap over to Road? I just saw a Roadhog just randomly appear, leering around the corner looking for a hook. And yeah, LavaLillies is super happy right there because they finally got the checkpoint. They've still got plenty of time, and they baited out an ultimate from Envy. So they're really happy with that. They're gonna have to go into this here, potentially another dry fight. I mean, maybe they commit beat here, but again, when you're dealing with something like the Blade, it's got to be a preemptive ultimate. They can't try to do it reactively, and we're gonna see if Aku gets a little too low, and they use the beat and the Primal Rage. Ooh, kind of a big mistake right there, and they've actually got the bot presence.
Yep, but I think they managed to get the trade. No Kiri's online for either side, so these blades are free as day for both Genjis. So already it's just picks turning on the way of Yappuccinos, but this is a fair at least 3v2. It's looking like it. The Lucios are back.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Lucio's kind of helping teams get back into fight a lot quicker. It's hard to really tell like what the teams are actually fighting with, and you see a hook onto the Lucio right there. I was kind of skeptical on this Mad Purple Roadhog, but it's paying off so far, and he was able to get that hook on Genji. It definitely would have been a turning point, but again, they've already got checkpoint, so all they got to do is kind of close the distance. They only have a 40-meter deficit right now, and they're looking to close it even less.
Yeah, no Genji Blade pop, no Beat Alive or online, so Push Rush should have this for free. Gets the Lucio 2k. No, Taiko says, no, we leave it at 2KO for them. So for LavaLillies, they still have this whole hog being forced onto at least the point, making Yappuccinos feel just a tad uncomfortable, but with no ultimates online and Kiriko's back in spawn and MEV just trying to keep themselves alive, I think this is going in the favor of Yappuccinos at the end of the day. They're willing to let them push this bot just slightly more meters, but at the end of the day, I think this is a regroup for both teams, with the regroup just slightly in favor of LavaLillies as they're already on high ground and they might likely commit with this Kiriko rush for the next engagement. That's it. At least As Nicely doesn't get any value from this Haidu.
Okay, Kitsune Rush coming out here from Taiko. And again, these ultimates are going to be crucial to helping turn this fight. They got to win like several consecutive fights just to win this here. And even if they win again, and that's what's so frustrating about Push, like you can make this win here. And look, the bot's still not gaining any presence. Sure, we're closing the distance into the actual forward spawn portion, but they still got a lot more to go, and they only have a minute left to do it. So essentially, if they make another mistake here, if they lose one more fight, it might all be over. And again, stopped right here, not getting any presence, and Blood Bunny finding her mark. This is a great start here. If I'm LavaLillies, I'm looking pretty happy to try to cut this distance down a little bit more. Emmy still committing the Kitsune Rush despite losing people, bodies on the point. And I think you already called it, Thor. I think all they're doing right now is just putting bodies on point, just trying to kill the last bit of time and leave it down to a one-fight situation.
But do I really want to use ultimates for that? You have nothing going into this next fight. You've committed both support and Primal Rage. And for LavaLillies, you have 3 ultimates down the wire. So if I were Yappuccinos, I think at that point, you might as well have just like given them a bit more of that push, really stabilized, because now it's not looking as great.
Oh no, yeah, you definitely are saying the right things right now, because look at that! They're about to lose the lead and only 10 seconds left to go. Pumpkin's got to be the one to touch here. They don't have any bodies that can go to touch. I mean, sure, the casting can touch, but it might be the last thing that they do. Reaper going to teleport to the back line. They got multiple bodies on point. Pumpkin falls, and what a big mistake from Yappuccinos. They overcommitted so much. They used the Kitsune, they used the Beat and Primal just to try to stagger as little bit of time as they can, and because of that mistake, it will cost them the set and cost them any chance they had to making it to tomorrow, making it to day number 3. LavaLillies, clutch time with the Roadhog.
That is such a great play from LavaLillies, but I think just even the swap from them really helped out this team, because I think prior to that, they may have been struggling just a bit with that Wrecking Ball and trying to get value, but the moment they switched to this Roadhog, just those hook shot potentials turned things around so well for LavaLillies. So great job to them. So I think if there's one thing that LavaLillies have at least shown is they could really, grit their teeth and turn things around. And I think that's something you want to have as a team when facing up against teams who are at least doing just as well as you.
Oh, 100%. I think the teams skill-wise were very neck and neck, but it all came down to the decision-making of ultimate usage, resource management. All those things play a key factor when coming into these matches, especially when the matches are this close. Because again, it came down to the wire essentially, because if Yappuccinos didn't make that such big commitment towards the end there, and they had those ultimates going into that final push, there was only about 10 seconds left before they finally crossed that deficit threshold and took the lead.
Yeah. I think it's stellar play from LavaLillies, really just capitalizing on their cooldowns and ult management at the end of the day, something that should be taking a decent look at.
Yeah. Again, it went the distance, and I just knew it was gonna be a barn burner after watching that first match. It was one of those things. Flashpoint is always a good indicator between the two team skills. If they go the distance on a Flashpoint map, I just know for a fact it's going to be the distance throughout the entire series, because we just saw it right there. Again, just a lot of back and forth action. It was a dominant retaliation map on Lijiang, but alas, we have now figured out who is our top 4 for the EU region. Again, that win from LavaLillies was the determining factor to make it into day 3 tomorrow. It's going to be a single elim bracket here. Obviously, the losers will go to that 3rd place match, but one match will determine whether you make it into the finals or not.
Yep, and already just from this overall standings, these are the matchups at the end of the day, and I think it's, at least standings-wise, it is Casa Rain that at least got through this whole slog with the best record at the end of the day. But the record can only show so much. It really means that tomorrow they will have to show up in order to ultimately maybe win this whole thing. But LavaLillies is just right behind them to turn things around.
Oh, 100%. I mean, all these teams that were in that top 8 threshold were all super close. I mean, look at the number of teams that went 2-2, 2-1, or 2-1, 2-2, and 3-1, and of course Casa being the only undefeated team, hence why they're the number 1 seed going into this. But again, great performances from both of the regions so far, and overall, because I mean, it's just been a lot of amazing Overwatch to be played still. But again, let's go ahead and take a look at our MVP for tonight's match. And of course, it had to be the one and only Mad Purple. They, them, despite making the unorthodox swap over to the Roadhog, still making quite a bit of difference.
If there's one thing Mad Purple at least has awareness of, is that role character swap just that your team needs, right? Assessing when whatever composition or tank you're initially running isn't getting the value that, or at least the more effective value that it should, because the Wrecking Ball was getting some work done, but I think it was the point presence at the end of the day, or at least enabling your team to get the picks. So the Roadhog really was a solid swap on Esperanza, and I think there must be at least some level of leadership at that tank role to turn things around and get your team onto the same page. So great job to them.
Yeah, great job leading the team, doing a great job of setting the tempo. You've already said it. It's just, it makes a big difference when when you're a little bit farther behind, you can kind of rally the troops together and turn it into a success story, and that's essentially what they did. And again, with the Roadhog, I would have never guessed in a million years, but made it work, and in shining fashion. But alas, these are the standings for our top 4 cutoff. Again, big thank you for all the teams that competed and, of course, helped donate towards an amazing fund. We've already raised $2,665, and we still have the remainder of today with North America's final Swiss matches, as well as tomorrow during the finals itself. So a lot of money can be still donated towards our $3,000, our third, or I think this is the 4th goal, because I mean, they originally started at 1,000, and we've already doubled that, looking to triple it. So I'm really excited for the remainder of the tournament.
Oh, exactly. But I think that is it for us, Frog, for at least for this afternoon. We will be having more matches, at least tonight, but this time we're moving from one region to another, heading to the North American brackets for Swiss rounds 3 and 4, and it will be starting at 8 p.m. EST, or if you're those in the EU side, that is probably I think 8-hour time, 6 to 8 hour time difference, depending where you are in the European region.
Yeah, it's let me just say it like this. It's going to be late for you if you're in the EU version, but EU region, so to speak. But hey, you know my pain, because Evo France is this weekend, so I've been having to wake up mega early to kind of watch these matches out in France. So now you suffer with me. But alas, again, big shout outs Thor for jumping in last minute to help me commentate that final match.
No worries. But till next time and to more matches for North American Swiss stages, just wait and see at 8 p.m. EST, but we are definitely going to be back.
Hey, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you soon.